Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ride or Die Show. I'm your host, Randi-lee. Um, Today's really hinky because I'm recording on my phone, so I hope everybody, I think it's all good, but that's where we're at in life today. Um, so with us today, we have Liisa Kovala. Hello, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I mean, I'm a lot better than last week when I had the flu. Hopefully I don't get a coughing fit, but I'm doing
I
better.
hear you. I've been having coughing fits too, and I think I got the cold in September. So, it
Right.
happens. Real life.
Right? Yeah, it's going around. The one girl at my office had it, and then I had it, and then a different girl at my office has it, and it's one of the worst sick that I've ever had. Like I was dying. And of course I go to the doctor. Oh, it's viral. We can't give you anything. I'm like,
Right.
just give me all the things. I don't care.
I'll try anything.
Yeah, I'm like, my teeth hurt. Like, give me something. Everything hurts. But
It's no
c'est la
fun.
vie. So other than that, you are a Canadian author, which is
Yes.
very exciting. I always love when I have fellow Canadians on the show. Not only that, but you're in Ontario with me.
I know. We're practically neighbors. I'm your northern neighbor.
Yes, practically neighbors by what, like 8 hours, 10
About
hours?
that, maybe.
Yeah,
Depending on the traffic, I guess.
yeah, yeah. Just a couple, hop, skip, and a jump. So
Exactly.
tell us a little bit about who Liisa is.
Yeah, so I am an author, like you said, and a book coach, certified in fiction and memoir. And I'm a retired teacher. Well, I hesitate to say retired because it sounds like I'm a retiree, and I'm really not. I'm just switched careers. I left teaching in 2022, about 5 years before I was supposed to retire, just thinking, oh,
Oh,
yeah, I need to pivot now and do something else. And so I've been writing and book coaching for the last several years. And it's so great. It's kind of combining like my teaching skills and my love of writing and all of those things in one package. I'm like, where was this job before? I didn't even know about it. I wish I'd been doing it
right?
years ago.
Right? Yeah. What grade were you teaching?
Well, I've done a lot of things. So the first year and a half, I was in New Zealand, which was amazing, and I was teaching at a middle school. And when I came back to Canada, I taught elementary school for a very long time. 8 years, I think. That felt like a long time to me. I love them, but a lot of energy. And then I switched to high school, and was teaching English and creative writing and AP research, and that's where I spent the majority of my career, and some special ed in there as well. And after I left teaching, I did supply teach for a couple of years. This year, I haven't done any supply teaching anymore. So I was kind of like in and out of the schools for a while, but now it's totally out of my system.
Nice. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah,
Um,
it was great.
so other than that stuff, because that's like what you do, but
Yeah.
who are you?
Yeah. Oh, that's such a hard question.
I know it's
I'm
the hardest
every
one.
woman.
It's a song, right?
Yeah,
I'm every woman.
yes,
Yeah.
that yeah,
It's
it's a
all
hard question because I'm a lot of things, right? I'm a mom of two adult children, so I'm an empty nester. I would say a puppy mom, but my puppy is not really a puppy anymore, but I still call her
Um,
puppy.
they're
Okay,
always puppies. First off,
good.
they are always puppies.
Okay, I
Um,
love that.
Second off, what kind of puppy?
A mini golden doodle. She's the sweetest thing in the world. It took me, 30 years to convince my husband he wanted to be a dog. Be a dog, get a dog. I told him you are a dog person, and he's like, no, I
Yeah.
don't think so. We always had cats. We've always had several
Yeah.
cats, and it took me years. And I finally said when I left teaching, I was working from home. Someday you're going to come home and find a dog here. And it turns out he kind of gave in, and we have this dog, and he is such a dog person. Like I knew he would be, but
Yeah.
he didn't know because he hadn't really grown up with a dog. So, anyways, he's
Mm,
in love with this dog. It's so hilarious to
I
me.
love it.
Anyway,
So my husband tried to tell me, so we already had two dogs. My husband tried to tell me, no, we're not getting another dog. Um, we got another dog. You
100%.
like that.
Right? The more the merrier, for
And
sure.
he loves him because he is the goodest boy.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's amazing, how they're just part of the family. Like they're
Right?
just essential. and so good for us. Like they get us away from our computer and get us outside and walking and all the things. Like, and I've never been greeted so enthusiastically when I come in a room. Like never.
Right? They are
So
always happy to see me. Even when I'm like, no, I'm not giving you a cookie, they are still happy to
they're
see me.
so happy. I know. It makes you feel good.
Right? Oh, they are the best.
Yeah.
What is the puppy's name?
This she's Emmy. And the reason
Oh,
is we had our first cat like in I don't know 1999 or something was named Juno. And we had a cat over COVID that we called Oscar. So we had a Juno and Oscar, and so we thought, well, we should have an Emmy.
yeah,
So,
I love it. I like that a lot, actually.
yeah, she's
Uh,
sweet.
we had a cat named Emmy, except it was short for Emma Snow White. So,
Oh, that's cute. I like that. That's nice.
yeah, yeah. I could talk about animals all day,
I know.
but I guess we should talk about mental health and stuff,
The things,
that
of
stuff.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, start your story, wherever makes the most sense, and I'm just gonna interrupt you.
Yeah, 100%. Please do. I mean, I think what you don't know when you're a kid is that anything's happening. Like I don't think you understand quite like
Yes.
there are issues. I was called sensitive and I was this and
Mhm.
I was that and I was the youngest of four kids, the only daughter. And I had probably a lot of periods of depression that I didn't understand or even communicate. And
You
I and
think they're normal.
yeah, you think it's
'Cause
normal.
it's just life.
And
It's just
there's kind of an attitude in sort of like I'm Finnish Canadian, there's sort of an attitude in Finnish culture that you don't really complain about anything and
Mm.
nothing's great, nothing's bad, and it's all just level. And you just kind of go through life like that. And I remember having like severe migraines, and I
Mhm.
used to have like just really down moments and sort of mood swings. And I didn't really understand that, oh, maybe that's hormonal. Like I didn't no one ever said, "Oh,
Yeah,
there's probably reasons for this." Like you just kind of tried to get through life
yeah.
figuring that out. But then so years and years of this kind of up and down. And I mean, I kind of got used to the fact like I knew how to manage myself. I knew how to get through life. I could mask. I could really show up to work and I could turn it on for my students. Like I could teach, I could be energy, and I would go home and crash and I could
Yeah.
be really depressed, but like I could function in the world. And then COVID came. And
Oh, COVID.
life as a teacher was really tough. And students and everybody, right? Like we all just everything that you probably were dealing with when COVID came, I think it got amplified. Like it was there already, but COVID kind of said, "Oh yeah, and also remember, this thing that you've been ignoring, that."
Yeah.
And it kind
See,
of amplified. So I
I
remember having,
loved COVID.
did you?
I loved it because I don't like going out anyways. My my kid that was still in high school, well, they were both in high school. Was Cassie? Yeah. She wasn't particularly the older one, but my younger one thrived doing it online.
Yeah,
Absolutely
yeah.
thrived. So that was fantastic. But my grandson was also just a tiny itty bitty baby.
Oh,
So I got
yeah.
to spend every moment with him
Oh
during
my
COVID,
gosh.
which I
Oh,
loved because he was born
oh,
November before. So,
yeah.
watching him learn to crawl and walk and do all the things because I couldn't leave. I loved it. I
That's
loved it
amazing. That's so incredible, right? Like what a gift that is
so much.
to be
Right?
able to with him. Yeah, so good. So I was like, so I think this is what tipped me off that there was a problem was I came into school one day and we were all masked up and
Mm.
you walk in the door and you do the hand sanitizer and my friend who like was a good work colleague and a friend of mine, she says, "How are you?" I just started to
Oh,
sob. And I had a panic attack and I had to go to my office and I was just like, I couldn't breathe. I was sobbing. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And it was so strange. And I did pull it together. I was able to get to class. I looked like terrible, but whatever. I got to class and turned it on and did my day. I had during that period another two panic attacks at school. And
Wow.
I'd never had that experience where you're it just takes over your body. Anyone who's had it. Like I think before I thought, "Oh, I've had something like that." But until it really happens, you don't realize how your whole body is just taken over and
Wow.
the breath is gone and you just feel like out of control. And at one point I remember being in the classroom, and also it was just a normal day. Everything was fine. My kids were awesome. They were doing some work, and some young guy came up and was talking to me about his assignment, and he said something really nice, and I don't even remember what it was, but just something kind. And again, I started to cry. I got up and stood in
Oh.
the hallway so I could be near my class. They were a good class anyway, but I stood in the hallway. And just at that moment, the vice principal came walking down the hallway and saw me. And he's like,
Mm.
"You need to go home." Yes, I
Yep.
do. And normally I would be the person, no, no, I'll be fine, no problem, no problem. But I knew that I was spiraling into that kind of um, attack that I had had earlier. So that whole time, like, I feel like I had it together most of the time during COVID. I feel like I was like really in control until I wasn't. And then
Mhm.
it was sort of an indication that there's something else going on here. So after, like in 2022, after we had a year of almost normalcy, like there was some stuff happening, but it was pretty normal. I had lovely classes, and I thought, oh, I need to leave now. This is good. Like I didn't want to leave during the midst of COVID and like just give up. I wanted to leave
Yeah.
when I felt good about my work, that I felt great about my classes, and that I was making a choice for me, not a choice because I couldn't handle it. So I had a
Yeah.
great year, and then I left at the end of the year, and then eventually I did go see my doctor, and I'm like, okay, can we talk about this? Because I was, getting into the menopausal thing too. So there's
Okay.
hormonal
Yep.
issues as well, right? And then we talked about it, and so it ends up that it's sort of like depression anxiety combination. And what was important for me about getting that diagnosis was understanding that okay, there's treatment. There's also a recognition that it's a real thing, like it's not in my head, that I'm
Right.
not just like I can't handle it. It was like my whole life I'd just been kind of covering. But COVID is the thing I think that made me go, yeah, yeah, there is something actually here, and I don't need to live
Right.
like this. Like a
It's such an amazing feeling when there's a word put to what's going on. When
yes.
your whole life you're just like, oh, that's just how I am. Like that's just
Yeah,
life. Isn't everybody the same way? Right? Like,
yeah,
isn't that just a thing? And then you're
right.
like, oh, no,
Yeah,
really? Something's wrong?
yeah.
Oh.
It's really true. And for me, I'd often wake up in the morning. This was during work, but also when like it was an indication to me that, a year after I'd finished teaching and wasn't working, like I was working from home, but on my own schedule, I wasn't rushing to wake up and, do work. And I would have such high anxiety, and I'd be like, but I don't even have anything on the agenda today. Like, what is
Right.
happening? But you have that overwhelming feeling. So it was beyond just like, oh, work related or because there's stress in my life. It
Yeah.
was just this internal thing. And once we dealt with it, it was like, oh, this is like I felt like I hadn't felt normal in decades. And when I started to normalize, I'm like, okay, this is how other people feel.
Right? It's a beautiful thing.
I
Um,
know.
so speaking of normalizing, how did you go about trying to do that?
Yeah. So, like in terms of seeing the doctor, or what do you? I'm not
But
sure what you're.
all of it, the whole
Yeah.
thing. How did you go about
Yeah.
figuring it out and finding a way to manage or deal?
Yeah. I think I waited for a long time. I left work thinking, okay, I'll leave work, things will get better because like I don't won't have the stress on me. I'll be able to plan my day the way I wanted. I'm not a morning person to begin with, so I started to like listen to my body and
Okay.
sleep longer, which I thought was really important. And I realized like if I let myself sleep, I'm a 9 hour a night person. I never got 9 hours when I was a
Oh,
teacher.
gee.
Never. And so like my natural body like circadian rhythm is 9 hours. So now I can kind of like listen to my body, sleep as much as I need to, and then I have more energy to go through my day. And I've also learned like there's no point in doing really important things in the morning. Let myself have that little bit of time. I would much rather start working at 10 or 11 and work till 8 or 9 at night than
Same with
get
my
up really
husband.
early. Yeah. And morning people don't get that right. My husband's a morning person. He's up at 5 for no reason. Like, what
That
are
is
you doing?
way too
Like,
early.
he
I
has
mean,
to go to work,
I'm
but
a
not
morning
like
person, but
later.
like 7:30.
Yeah, right? Like I think it's so our work sometimes dictates how we live, right? Like, so
Yeah.
I just adapted myself to get to bed at a certain time, and I never went to bed early because I'm not a night, a morning person. I'm more of a night person. So I naturally wasn't even sleepy until about 11, and I would read, and by the time you go to sleep, and then, so I think sleep was really important factor. And after I'd been home for probably, I don't know, 6 months, a year, and I was still feeling that anxiety in the morning. I was still feeling
Mm.
something's not quite right, and like there's no reason for this. Like I don't have to go out to do this or that. I didn't have all kinds of pressures on me. Any pressure I had was self-imposed. Like it was,
Yeah.
like things I chose to do that I wanted to do. And I think that was a light bulb moment too, right? Because now it's not COVID time. I'm not working full time. I'm not doing all the 800 things. I'm an empty nester. And all the kinds of stresses in my life that I used to have, I'd kind of let them go. And now I was like, okay, but I'm still not right. And that's when I thought, okay, I'm just going to call the doctor, get an appointment. I think we talked first about menopause because I went in
Which makes
there with,
sense. Yeah.
yeah, because I went in there and I guess I'd seen a list of symptoms somewhere online, one of these checklists.
Oh,
And I
yes.
think there was 35 symptoms on this particular list. There's probably more. And I had done that list, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have 34 of the 35 symptoms. And I told her that, and she just laughed. She was so good about it. And so we talked about options, and so I ended up going on HRT, which for me is the right move. Like it really stabilized me
Oh, good.
hormonally, which made a huge difference. But still, I was like not feeling quite right. And so I went back later and we had another discussion and we talked about things. I remember sobbing in her office actually because I'd never told anyone that I ever felt depressed. I never talked about anxiety. Like people had seen my
Yeah.
anxiety attack at work. So it's not like they didn't know that happened,
Yeah.
but
But
they
to
didn't
say it out
understand
loud
that.
is different.
It's so different saying it out loud. And she was so understanding, obviously. I mean, she's seen people and talked to other patients. But for me, it was such an, like, I had never said it out loud. So I was just sobbing. And it was such a relief to say it and for her to just be so kind and understanding and like, okay, let's see what we can do and let's talk about your options. And that's where we went from there. And it's made such a huge difference. Like, I
Oh,
don't know
good.
why we go so long just trying to
Oh,
deal with it.
right? Yeah, we fight going and getting help, and we fight it so hard for no purpose because as soon as you go and do it, you're like, what? Why did I wait?
Yeah,
What is
right?
wrong with me?
I know. And I think we're so complex. Like, if you think about every part of our body and our brain, we're so complex, and every person is so different that, one solution is maybe not good for somebody else. But to ignore it and just think you're like, oh, I don't feel right, but I can handle it. Like I can
Yeah.
handle it. Like I can get through my day, so I'm fine. I can get through work. I'm fine. And you're not really, and you're not, but you just push it aside.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's such a challenge. I wish I had been braver as a young person and just went like, I don't think this is good.
I like how you use that word that you were to be braver to go seek help because that's the biggest thing I think that stopped so many of us. I know it stopped me when I was a teenager. Well, that and I didn't know I was actually wrong. I thought
Yeah.
everyone was the same way, but no.
Yeah.
Um, but it's that if I tell somebody, they're going to think something's wrong with me, and that's not good, and that means I'm weak, and that means whatever. Whereas when you actually go and get the help, and then you can function and you're, actually doing well in life, oh, it's like the most amazing thing.
I know. It's incredible. And I think for me, outwardly, like people assumed I was fine, right? Like, so
And that's what
they
they do,
didn't,
yes.
yeah, it's just, oh, you're functioning, you're fine, you're productive, like you're doing well in your job, you're juggling all these other things.
Yeah.
So I was really good at doing everything, but it was burning me out and making me anxious and depressed, but I would just keep going on. And I didn't listen to myself when I was exhausted. I would just push through. Now I've learned to say, yeah, no, I can't do that. No,
Yes.
I've reached my limit. I can't actually do the next thing. And I say yes to things and I say no to things because I'm now much more protective of my own energy.
Yes,
And that's important.
exactly. And I mean, I got to that point too, and it took me a long time. I think it takes a lot of people a long time. Um, but when I started saying no, it was like when I say it to, say, my mom, and she's like, "What do you mean no?"
Shock.
No. Well, why not? I don't actually need to give you a reason.
Yeah.
I just no. Like that's a complete and full sentence.
100%.
Um, but yeah, you have to protect yourself. There's only so much that you can do. You're one friggin' person.
Yeah.
But it's not an easy thing, especially when it's your friends and your family, and you want to help them. You want to do stuff, but no.
Yeah.
Nope.
And it is hard at first to say no. Like, I feel like I was a person, and I still am to some extent, but I've put more boundaries up.
Yeah.
But for a long time as a younger person, I was called on to do a lot of things for organizations and groups I
Yeah.
belonged to because I was competent and I would get it done and I wouldn't complain. And they knew I would get it done. Like, I'm just that personality. Like, I'm very
Yeah.
task oriented. It will happen if you ask me to do it. And I had a hard time saying no. So I took it on, took it on, took it on.
Yeah.
And, not realizing that somebody else could also do this, right? Like there are other people, and that it's okay to say no. So it took a while to get to that point, but then once you start saying no, people start to really respect your boundaries, and then
Hmm.
they might ask you, but they're also asking you in kind of a like not expecting you to say yes because in the earlier
Yes.
days they just assumed I would say yes, and they were
Hmm.
right, and
Exactly. And
now
then they
I'm
get
like, oh,
mad when you say no
yeah,
because you've always said
you're used
yes. What do you
to
mean
it.
no?
Exactly, exactly. It's
Yeah.
it's hard though to start to say no, but then it gets easier and then after a while you're like, "Oh, that's really powerful."
Right? Exactly. It is
So
a
good.
full and complete sentence. Let's all try it together now. Ready, ready, ready.
That's right.
No.
Oh, it's so good. It's a beautiful
It's
sentence.
It is a beautiful sentence, and you can say no with a period or no with with like a question mark or no with
Right.
like exclamation mark. There's
No.
lots of ways you can say it.
Right. Practice it in all the ways. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so I mean, putting boundaries in and learning to kind of say no is a huge coping strategy that
Yeah.
it's very difficult to learn. Any other really good coping strategy that you found work?
Well, okay, so I think something that works for me, and again, this is probably um, specific to some people and not others, right?
Of
But
course.
because I'm a writer, and I've always been a writer since I was a kid, when I'm not writing, I know that my mental health is worse. And I started to see a pattern. So if I would go several days because I was busy doing things for everybody else and, running around, and I wasn't getting to my own stuff, I would feel worse. And then it was hard to get back to my stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I learned that that was important, I started to take the time for my stuff. It filled the well, and then I had more energy for everybody else. So it took a while to learn that, oh, no, no, I have to put myself first in the
Yeah.
thing that I need to do so that I have that energy and ability to do all the other things. And that was a game changer for me. And my
Mhm.
family learned that. I'd just be like, okay, this amount of time, I'm going to go do the thing. And they're like, okay. And I realized, oh, they don't mind. They don't care.
Right?
Like they're fine with it. Like my kids were like, okay, bye, mom. Like they just got
Right?
used to the fact that this is part of my weekly routine. I would go and write. And I think it was teaching them too that, oh, you have to take time for yourself and the things that you love
Yes.
to do. And that's valuable. And you don't have to feel guilty about it. I mean, I always did feel guilty, but in the back of my mind, it takes a while before you can
Right.
come around to it. But still, I realized later that, oh, that probably benefited my kids to see
Mm-hmm.
that, like me mentoring that kind of modeling that kind of behavior. So
Yes, exactly. Love that. Um, okay, so before we move on, do you have any last pieces of wisdom that you want to share on this topic?
Yeah, just I think, you know, I think when we go back to the idea of bravery, I think we think we are so capable of handling all the things, and we are really good at it. And when we're because we're so good at it, we don't step forward and know that we could feel better. We can just feel better. So I don't just go see your doctor. Go have a conversation. See where that goes. Have that conversation and be open to suggestions. And sometimes it takes a long time to get a diagnosis, or it takes some time to, if you're
Hmm.
going to get medication, to get that the right balance. If you're getting therapy, whatever it might be, but just open that door and go, okay, I'm going to have the conversation and just feel the waters. And all of a sudden you feel empowered and you go, okay, like let's actually make this purposeful and um, try to figure out what's going on here and take control of our own lives. Like it's so empowering actually. It's not a failure. It's not, a negative thing. It's just, being you can only be the best you if you're taking care of yourself.
Yes, exactly. I love that. I love it. All right. So, I mean, you've said it, you're a writer, so clearly there's things out there, things you're working on that you want to tell us about.
Oh yeah, of course. So I have coming up in the spring. I started a cozy mystery series called
Ooh.
Hygge. The first one's called Hygge and Homicide, and the second one's called Midsummer Marriage and Murder, and the third one will be
Ooh.
Murder by Nordic Design. So it's all got kind of a Nordic twist to it. Small, quaint northern town, and it's been so fun to write. I just love it. But my latest book is historical fiction, and it came out in October, called Like Water for Weary Souls, set in Northern Ontario during the Depression. And it actually has a little murder mystery in it as well.
Ooh, I'm excited to read it.
Yeah.
I have that one actually. Mickey did send me that one. So
Great,
it's on my
great.
to be read and get write the review for it. So everybody stay tuned because that is coming.
Yeah.
Or go and read it before me and you guys tell me what you think.
That's great. Absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's been really fun. And I also have two other books. The first one I wrote was a creative nonfiction called Surviving Stutthof. My dad told me his story about being a 16-year-old merchant marine sailor, Finnish merchant marine sailor. His ship was arrested and they were sent to a concentration camp during World War II.
Oh wow.
And had two death marches. He survived the end of the war, just a young guy, and he told me his story at 84. Finally was open about
Mm.
it. Yeah, it was incredible. And talk about mental health issues, right? He
Yeah.
had PTSD, like they didn't call it PTSD then, but he had night terrors his whole life. He struggled his whole life with what had happened to him in those
Yeah.
early years. And yet, like talk about masking, was the most positive, happy, joyful person and loved people and he wanted to talk to everybody. So he had this kind of like outward part and then he had that sort of dark, deeper part.
Yeah.
So I grew up with this understanding of the duality, right, of who we show outwardly and who we are inwardly. So I don't know that I can claim that mine comes from him, but I just certainly observed it with him and felt deeply what he was going through. So that was an incredible journey we took together writing that book. And then the first novel was called Sisu's Winter War, and it was set during the Finnish-Russian Winter War. My dad was a kid at that time, but I wanted to know like what had my grandmother done, and what had
Yeah.
my my cousins and my I guess wouldn't have had many cousins at that time, but like my aunts, what would they have been doing during the war? And I
Hmm.
wrote about a young Lotta Spard, so a nurse's assistant. And later in Northern Ontario, when she's an older woman, she gets early onset Alzheimer's, which was, again, a result of watching my father have Alzheimer's in the end.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was able to kind of draw on what he was going through to write about her and kind of put myself in her shoes to feel like what would that have been like to be losing those memories of the past, and
Hmm.
what that might have like, how would you feel and how would you understand it, and how would you react to that? So I put myself in her shoes and wrote in a first person point of view. So it was really, really an interesting book to um, think about both my, kind of inspired by my father's experiences, but also by my aunts and my grandmother.
Yeah, very neat.
Yeah.
Um, and so where do people pick up all of these lovely books?
Yeah, so I think the easiest place, you can get them anywhere. You can order them from a bookstore, your local bookstore. You can ask for them at your local library, but they are on Amazon. That's probably the easiest place for most people to just go and Google.
Yeah.
If they just Google my name, you'll find them all
Awesome.
over.
And where are people going to follow you?
Yes, so they can find me on Instagram and Facebook. But if they subscribe to Women Writing on Substack, I have a free download which is called the Sisu Writing Method, Ancient Wisdom for Modern Writers. So if you're a writer and you're interested in Sisu, which is that deep courage, perseverance, grit that we all need to get through life, all the difficult parts, all
Yeah.
the draining parts. It's that kind of workbook that will help you move forward. And so Sisu is sort of an important concept theme in my writing and in my life. And it's an important Finnish concept that I talk about all the time. So, yeah.
Love that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thank
I
you.
just
That was so fun.
dropped my fidget toy on the ground. That's very sad. Um,
Yeah.
but that I love it. So everybody, make sure that you check out all of Lisa's things. Stay tuned for my book review of her. That was the latest one. You said
Yeah, like Water for
October.
Weary Souls. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
So
most recent.
yeah. So stay tuned for that. That will be coming out next few weeks, maybe next month. We'll see. I make zero promises because you never know. I wasn't planning to have the flu last week and be out for almost 2 weeks. So we
And
shall see.
holidays are coming and all the things, right? You need to have a
Uh,
little rest.
have my holiday shirt look on. Okay.
Oh, I
Oh.
love it. So good.
Um, my husband's always like, "Do you have how many holiday sweaters do you have?" The answer is a lot.
You don't
Just a
need to
lot.
give any numbers. Just
Yeah, a lot.
amazing.
Uh, so everybody be sure to check out all of the links down below in the description so you can easily follow Lisa on all of the things. And remember, the only way to end the stigma of mental health is to speak openly and honestly. Bye!